Hi, thanks for coming along and having a look at the no plan plane. This is just drawing out the plans at the beginning. There's some measurements on there if you want to pause the video and take a look at the measurements if you want to build this plane. You may not want to build it if it doesn't fly. Anyway, those pieces there are the inserts inside the wing, so the wing has profile. Didn't really plan the profile, just sort of made it what I thought it should be. That's the whole theme. There we are, gluing the inside of the hinge there. We've got a carbon fibre spar, and that's with a wing as it's folded over. There, we're just going to show the servo, the way I've set up the servo on the front. Two push rods there. This wing has been, well, this whole plane's made out of bits and pieces had left over. That's actually a toilet lid holder, that screw. Yeah, it holds the lid of a toilet on. Yeah, that's the no plan plane. Servo stuck in the front there. That's the profile of the wing there. I don't know, it's just some way I thought to make it. There's the wing sort of pretty much completed. A little tab at the back there to stop the wing twisting when it's in the frame or in the fuselage of the main body. Here's the tail section. Originally I cut the tail into the fuselage, but that wasn't going to work because I had two tails, because the two sides of the fuselage, so I cut it off. Now we're building a separate tail. Here's the horizontal stabilizer, and that's a piece there. I'm going to double up the inside of the fuselage to make it stronger where the wing goes in. So there's the ailerons cut out with a V cut into the foam, and the same thing with the tail. There's the ailerons all cut out now, ready for the servos. Now we're going to assemble the tail section. Boy, I spent so much time. Oh, here we go. Here's the firewall. I just cut the firewall off some pieces of wood I found on a tricopter, an old tricopter. There's 4 pieces of wood, and now we're going to just glue them all together so it makes a firewall, and then glue the firewall into the front of the plane. Here we are, gluing the pieces of the fuse together. I'm trying to make it flat and level as best as possible without denting the foam. And then the control horns, old control horns off dead foamy planes, and trying to get them all stuck in properly. This is where the servos have been mounted inside, and those push rods you see there, again, they're from an old plane. They're carbon fibre rods with steel inserts epoxied into the ends, and that's sort of those twisty type adjustment things that you can get from hobby store to try and make the rods a little bit adjustable. Here's the plan for the motor, where to mount it. The idea was to get the motor higher than the wing, so you get a lot of air rushing over the top of the wing, hopefully making extra lift. That's the only thing I bought, those screws on the motor mount. Here we're just trying to plug the electronics together, seeing if everything works. I didn't really even test those servos before I put them in, but that's the no plan plane. That's what it's all about, making it out of scraps and whatever you can find around the place. I'm just using my bench power supply to supply power to it at the moment. I haven't got a battery connector soldered onto the ESC just yet. That motor's really noisy. It was always the problem with those motors. I bought them for a quad and really noisy, so I replaced them and haven't used them, but they're okay for a no plan plane, just to get it off the ground hopefully. Sorry about the shot there, you can't really see the tail moving, but obviously the servos were working, tail's working, elevator and the I can't remember what the other one's called anyway. So all the electronics was working, you beauty, just clamping the whole thing together. Now this piece is just a reinforcing piece where the wing bolt goes up through the bottom of the plane so that it doesn't pull through. There you go, you can see the nut on the top of the post where the wing bolts in. There it is again, that nut, wing nut holding the wing on. This is the top cover, the sort of hatch. Just a piece of foam with the edges cut off, and that's the tail part of the hatch. That's glued in to give the tail rigidity. And this is the hatch here, all completed. It didn't come up too bad. It's nice and big hatch. You can access the inside of the plane quite easily with a nice big hatch. A little bit of Velcro underneath to hold it down, and a little tab so you can open it. It opens in sections, so there's 3 sections to it. So it sort of follows the contour of the top of the fuselage. That's the opens. Just have a look there. I've put the battery mount in as well. And that's the plane pretty much completed. I haven't done any CG checks or anything like that yet, but that's the plane. The tail's a bit crooked, but I'm just going to fly it as is. Hopefully it doesn't affect it too much. Well friends, thanks so much for watching the build video of the No Plan plane. This is a plane that was built completely not really having a plan at all. I just knew that I wanted something sort of long, a bit shorter wingspan so it would track nice and straight. You know, I've seen a few planes like that. They look really nice in the air. Yeah, but no plan, just built out of scrap stuff I had lying around in the garage. Yep, motor's really noisy, and that's why I wasn't using them before, but it still works. It's going to be noisy, but anyway, whatever. Foam that was left over from years ago. Bits and pieces, servos, all that kind of stuff that was left over. Yeah, I guess the only thing I'm worried about with this plane is that the wing is completely flat. It doesn't have any dihedral. In other words, the wing doesn't sort of tilt up on this side and sort of up on that side. So I'm a little worried that it will be a little bit hard to handle. I think it'll probably want to sort of tip by itself. It won't self-right. I was thinking about having the wing up on top, but you know, I want a plane that sort of looks a bit sporty and flies a bit sporty. Yeah, anyway, the problem with the wing being so flat as well is that when you're landing, if you don't land completely flat and you land sort of on the side a little bit, the wing, you know, the wingtip is going to dig into the ground and then spin the plane when it lands. So I'm a bit worried about that happening, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so thanks for watching the build video of the No Plan plane, and hopefully in the next video we'll do a bit of a CG check and find out how to balance it. I don't know where the CG should be yet, but we'll do our best to figure that out. Make it a little nose heavy to begin with, I suppose, and the all-important maiden flight. Yeah, so I might do a little video on how to do a successful maiden, because there's a lot of things you can do which will make your maiden flight a lot more successful. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Thanks so much for watching, and yeah, hopefully you stay tuned for the next few installments on the No Plan plane. Thanks for watching. Bye.